What's going on? CK here. We're going to talk about doing business with people you wouldn't eat with. You might be like, man, that's messed up. Why would you want to do business with people that you wouldn't eat with? Or what's the whole point of eating? Eating is a very intimate act. Something's going inside of you. You're putting things in your mouth and it's going in your body. Anytime you're getting a shot, you're eating something goes in your ear, goes in your eye. It's going inside of you and it becomes intimate because whatever you're putting inside of you becomes a part of you. With it being a part of you, it gets past everything you have as far as a defense, as far as ways to protect yourself, and it's directly into your body. Eating is a very intimate act. Doing business with people doesn't have to be intimate. Doing business with people can be emotionless, just about logic and reasoning, and it could be all about getting a gain or a benefit. Sometimes you do have to do business with people you wouldn't eat with because it benefits you in that there's a reciprocal relationship, and that relationship supports your self-interest. You just have to understand who you're dealing with in order to know, are these people, is this person good for business or not? These might be people or someone who you just can't eat with them. You can't be involved with the intimate act of eating with them. I'm not talking about like a meal per se as in eating, but like literally someone that you can depend on to eat. Food's a resource, and when you're eating with someone, you're sharing resources with them. You're sharing intimate information, you're sharing emotion. So it's not just the act of actually physically eating food, but it's just the concept of something going inside of you and it being intimate. There are a lot of people, they're great people, they have great personalities, you just can't eat with them. They may be too focused on emotion and they're not going to be able to make decisions that are in your best interest. They may be people who are good for business at that moment, but they're not really good for intimate conversation, intimate information, or really knowing much about you. You have to kind of have like a shield up, like you're a starship, and guarding your information and guarding yourself and guarding your true motive and your feeling, because they may take that information and try to use it against you. It sounds bad to want to have people in your life not really good long term or not really good with intimate aspects of yourself. That's just pretty much how business is, unfortunately. That's how people are. There are some people, when you ask them questions, like I said in the last one about answers, the answer they give you tells you what they want and what they really don't want. It's really important to understand exactly what their goal is or what their goals are, so you can figure out, do these goals align with my self-interest? For example, I've been in a lot of groups, I worked for a lot of companies, and during the, let's say, orientation while working for other people, they give you an orientation of the values of the company, the vision, all the objectives, the quarterly, semi-annual, the annual goals. They tell you all these goals. But then when you start working, you start noticing that the things that they're actually doing have nothing to do with those goals. That shows you the priorities are mixed up because they just told you one thing and they showed you something else. So at this point, you realize that, okay, this is a good place to do business with and make money, but not be intimate with, not to eat with. So you ain't telling them about your kid. You're not telling them about your spouse or what you do on the weekends. And if you are prompted, you kind of give just enough to get them out your face. They don't even know what they want. And one of the worst things you can do is to give people ammunition to use against you. It does sound paranoid. It does sound like trust issues. That's the point. You want to... People should earn your trust. A lot of people will walk around talking about, hey sis, hey bro, hey brother this, brother that. They just throw out family all willy-nilly. And by them throwing out family all willy-nilly when speaking to people, that shows you that there isn't much intimacy with them. They're just like community people. People should have to work to be considered family, not just walk on in your family because of biology or because you're a member of something. It should be earned. there should be a trust factor. And usually if there's not a trust factor, or it's a toxic environment, people are not going to feel comfortable. They're going to constantly feel as if they're not appreciated or wanted. And you could say, well, we appreciate you, we want you, we accept you. And you're like, okay, you're saying this, but I'm going off of what you're doing. And what you're doing doesn't say exactly what you're saying, because you're not doing what you're saying. And that's the reason why I work with you, because you're good for business, but I can't eat with you, because it just seems like once you get into an intimate aspect of my life, you're going to tear it apart, because you're already tearing it apart. On Monday morning, you're telling me, oh, we care about you, we're here for you, we like you. And then Monday afternoon, it's a different aspect. That's why I say you have to go by what people do or not what they say. Let's say you're at your job and you're noticing that people are constantly having these huddles. They're having a whole bunch of huddles, going into a corner, and they're having these conversations. They're not including you, but they come and tell you after the huddle what was said. That's usually a sign that you're not involved in the intimate aspects of whatever the situation or relationship is. If there's a huddle, everybody should be in the huddle, not just the cool kids. That's why you have to figure out, okay, am I in the in crowd or am I not? And is there an in crowd? Because the cool kids table is a big thing. The cool kids are going to tell each other the whole story, the whole strategy. But people who are not allowed to sit at the cool kids table, they get a different version of the plan. Their version of the plan is going to be night and day from the actual plan. You have to kind of quickly look at an environment and figure out, okay, is this a clique? Is this a gang? Is this a cult? What is this? And you can get that by asking questions. And depending on what answer you give, and by how people move and what they do, and not just what they say, you can figure out, okay, these are people I can do business with, but I can't eat with them. You can tell a lot by someone based off their answer when you ask them a question, especially a direct question or a simple question. You can tell a lot by someone. And that kind of goes into the aspect of, are they good for business or not? And then if they are good for business, is this someone or some people that you only could do business with, but you can't eat with? It's a whole bunch of aspects, and you can really tell by how people talk to you, especially when they're upset. When people are upset and they're agitated, they'll let you know exactly how they feel about you and what they think of you, just by their tonality, just by how people talk to you and address you, especially when they're stressed or it's a tough time or a tough situation. That lets you know how people really feel about you, how much information they're giving you, how they talk to you, how they treat you. You can show me better than you can tell me. That's the reason why I embrace individualism, because when you put all of your eggs in the basket of an organization, a group, it's great to jump in 100% and be 100% committed, but how would you feel knowing that you're 100% committed to the group or the gang, organization, or the business, but the business's goals aren't committed to helping you? So at that point, it's not even a reciprocal relationship. You're just here, you're giving all your energy, all your brain power, all of your intellect, you're giving all this effort, and then the business's goals aren't there to support you. So now you're worried about her and she's worried about hers, or you're worried about him and he's worried about his, or you're worried about the business, you're a company man, you're a company woman worried about the business, and the business is only focused on themselves. That's why you got to put yourself first, because you may run into a situation where you are giving your all to a relationship. For example, you're giving your all, you're honest, you're open, people are coming to you asking you to have extramarital affair, go out on a date, and you're like, nope, I'm in a relationship with somebody, I got someone, I'm 100% committed, thanks but no thanks. And then one day you find out that the person that you've been committed to, they step out of the relationship. How would you feel? You'd be devastated, right? That's the whole point, is you were with someone that wasn't doing what they said. And even if they didn't directly say it, they indirectly said it, because somewhere down the line you talked about being monogamous, or you talked about this or that, being open and honest, having an open line of communication, and this person stepped out on you. This person or these people, they had this little secret meeting, they didn't include you in the powwow, they didn't include you in the cool kids table. You'd feel bad, right? Now you're wondering, wow, I've been dedicating all this energy to this thing, and they're having little powwows, and they're telling me about the powwow afterwards. That makes you feel horrible, because now you're thinking, wow, am I really in the right place? Am I working for the right company, the right organization? And usually when you start asking yourself questions like that, depending on what answer you give yourself will determine exactly how you really feel. And usually the answer you give yourself is going to be the right answer, but you might not act on it because you're not used to putting yourself first. You're not used to being selfish. You're not used to understanding that there's not a cool kids table. There's several tables. It depends on how you feel about the people on the table, which determines exactly how you can move and how you're able to be advantageous in all situations. On the next one, we're going to talk about the cool kids table and why it's important to be selfish and put yourself first.
The Black Balance Network. The Black Balance Network is a cooperative of Black content creators that provide opinions and commentary. We're all about supporting the individual, collective, and community, as well as supporting businesses and ideas to the grassroots level. The group includes Business Minded Talk, D. Durrell, Faith, Ray Ray the Awareness Channel, and the Screen Learning Channel. Be sure to check us out, and we look forward to providing you with great content.